Welcome back to Sorare in the States. Yeah, it's weird. I'm hosting. I'm HG Sorare. I'm here with, of course, ZM Star, Thomas, MLS Sorare Scout. And we're here to just Freestyle Friday. First time doing this. We're just going to talk about whatever we want to talk about, whether that's Sorare related, football, NBA. I know the lock's coming up. If people have some lineups they're trying to put in, ask questions in the chat. We got our advice on stuff, and we've been looking at that. First of all, Zach, how are you?
Good, man. How's it been going this week?
It's been solid, just basically prepping for League MX. That's what I've been saying on the show, but I'm so excited. Starts tonight. Although America is going full youth tonight. They're not starting any of their regular guys. And so that's kind of a stinker to start, but Toluca's later should be fun. Thomas, what about you? How are you?
Yeah, we're kind of not snowed in necessarily, but we're about to be iced in just because it's Georgia. It's going to be anything between, less or greater than 0 in terms of snow just shuts the entire city down. So I don't think Freestyle Friday could have come at a better time because I don't really have much else to do right now. I can't go outside. I can't do anything. So yeah, I think I'm a little excited for this weekend. We talked earlier, unfortunately, my goalkeeper for that contender lineup did give up a goal really early due to a mistake made by another teammate. But hey, he still held for a nice little AA, almost 60 points.
Oh yeah,
and yeah, I think I'm a little stoked for Liga MX. But you know what I'm really stoked for? I'm actually kind of stoked for J League, and I got some fun data. I got a little scouting list that I can kind of go over and talk about. How did I even get these players on my list? Was it just vibes, or was there actual hypotheses around it?
Oh yeah, we'll get into that for sure. But let's start off first, Zach. I know you had some moves that you were making in your gallery. We have the Road to Glory that we've been doing with you, obviously. But let's see what you got.
Yeah, so I think last episode, right? Did we finish on Robert Taylor?
Yeah, I think so. We were talking about how he was going to leave and probably go to another MLS club.
Yes, I think at the time when we were saying that, and I think it still looks good that he'll probably get moved. So I was telling everybody to scoop him for $1 when you could. But since then, obviously, you'll see I added Heel, which I've been trying to add. I got him in now below the averages, but I couldn't get him at what he was going for, which was like $46 prior to all this.
Is that Sorare Down Under's Heel?
I have no idea. Let's see.
He was someone. I was funny whenever we were watching. They had the MLS show for Laird's podcast this week or live stream, and of course they started all the heel, back and forth. And it's funny. I was noticing as people were like actively listing their heels while the stream was going on and changing the prices as people hyped it up or talked it down. It was like.
Yeah, I know. I think that was one of the that show was very funny. We kind of discussed it, and we were definitely talking about maybe doing a rebuttal show to some of the things that were happening on that and where we don't agree with necessarily Gator or Harry. But that was a fun show, and people were really getting crazy in the chat. MLS makes everybody nuts, and it's kind of funny.
It was so funny to look at what people like maybe that don't solely focus on MLS think of the league. It was definitely interesting to watch. I was looking at markets for players as things went through the show because they have pull. Like people will buy like if they just like mention a player on the stream. So I was looking at that. But yeah, also shout out Mikey Baston in the chat early.
Mikey B.
What's up, Mike?
All the shows.
Oh yeah.
Earlier on this. They're on SD. They're on Quinny's show. I saw them earlier, and I say that because I was also watching all the shows.
I think I was watching Quinny's too. I didn't comment, but I was there checking that out.
Yeah, me neither. I was
not in attendance for most shows today as I was working and also spending some time in the snow.
Oh yeah, I know. We got a bunch of snow over here too. I was shoveling earlier. Zach, you got some snow over there too?
Yeah.
My snow means sand.
It is the snowiest day we've ever had.
Oh yeah, and then we got Jorge from wherever he's at. Couldn't make it tonight. That might be a little different for some people, but yeah, Jorge, hope you're having fun whatever you're doing, or hope you're getting through whatever you're doing. I don't know what he's doing. He might be working. He might be doing something, but yeah. So you're talking about Hill, and you're talking about
after getting a Hill, which I thought really just needed to solidify my basically my best lineup with him and Hartel and Messi. Like that really solidifies what I'm trying to do. Then I scooped Balthazar Rodriguez, which, if nobody's aware, Miami is looking to trade with Racing. Basically, we send Farias and we'll take back Balthazar. And I heard about this like 3 days ago. It was kind of hitting the Miami discords, some rumbling. So I just went ahead and grabbed him off the instant buy because I had credits. So thinking that this deal is actually going to go through, and it hasn't been announced yet, but it was a pure speculation buy. I just feel like his price is going to move once.
Yeah, I love this signing, both in your gallery and for Miami. This is someone that I bought his card. Actually, here's the first time I ever bought a super rare because I actually feel like he is just the right prime player to succeed in MLS. He kind of lost out on minutes towards the end of the season last year, but for a minute there, and he was actually excelling quite well with that Racing team. He definitely he would play on the right. I kind of assume in that position where that was where Diego Gomez was playing, or is that where?
Yeah, so that's actually what I wanted to pull up here next to what I had. So I have the heat maps for both Gomez. So as we can see, I don't know if you can make this bigger. I have no idea. But anyway,
zoom in maybe with the
I just do.
Oh.
I got a little wild on the zoom, but yeah, like if we can see Gomez's heat map, let me just go one bigger so I can like. Is it too big now? And it's like scrolling. Yeah, it's unfortunate. But anyway, like Gomez's heat map, and then like Rodriguez's heat map are almost identical, box to box.
Yep.
Just
and he has a nice foot. Like he's hit some really great goals this season. I've watched a couple of them. I think he could start. I think he could start for the team. Like after
Gressel, games.
And Gressel is, I think it just popped up in my Twitter feed. It was I kind of had a feeling, but they're saying that he's not returning to Inter Miami this season. So that already removes one person that I would compete for that spot, I would assume. And yeah, I think this is a great signing. I also really liked Facundo Farias.
Yeah, which I had, and I sold him like 3 years ago.
I think these are two young Argentine players that could really just excel in this league. So I like. So far, I'm loving these signings this week. Like we are on the same brainwave right here.
So then we can talk if you want to talk about him still. But then I grabbed the Negri. Let's go to his all time and really with just Miami.
Where is he going?
So he went to San Diego. So when he actually was the starter, like under Neville, when the team wasn't that good, the dude is a really good winger, like or left back, and he just gets down and he throws balls into the box. Like that's kind of what he does, and you'll see like his AA numbers really reflect like him getting into the box. So I was kind of hoping that's the same role he gets to fill for San Diego, and if he does, like his AA numbers should look pretty good. And he was $3 or $3.75 is what I got him at.
That's very good. Yeah.
Oh man, he's on the San Jose train. He's on it. He's all about
And then this last move I made today, because the news came out that Chicho was going to San Jose, and I believe in Bruce, I said, who's going to benefit the most? I didn't want Chicho. I'm okay at forward. So I think Lopez is actually the guy who's going to just chew up even more and just end up putting up monster scores in San Jose. Like, I think that these AA games will not be few and far between anymore, but rather like the norm we see from him. Fire alarm.
There you go.
Let's go.
At least you know it works.
I'm gonna mute him so he can do that. But
so I think we got a couple of questions here in the chat. So got Jack is asking what you think of the Sounders signing so far. I think they're pretty good.
I agree.
I think they're shaping up for a really great season. I think to compete also in the Club World Cup. That's for me is what everyone's kind of looking at, because there's a lot of money to be made in that tournament. I think that's why you're seeing teams like Boca, River, all over the world right now are stocking up on players. So if I were a Sounders fan, I'd be quite optimistic about the season because so far you've fleeced multiple MLS teams.
No, yeah, they brought in Jesus Ferreira. That was kind of the biggest one. And they also have I think the toughest Club World Cup group. It's Botafogo and PSG and someone else.
Yeah, it's kind of a group of death for them. But you never know. You never know.
They upset one of those teams. That's definitely big for them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Speaking of Seattle, is my audio back on now?
Yeah, you're good to go.
Right. Speaking of Seattle, do we think that they're going to try to get rid of that De La Vega contract? Or
I don't think so. I think they're gonna see it through at least until the summer, and see what they can do. Because at this point, too, it's one of the way I see it is what are you able to do with it in the meantime? Do you think you can pull in another DP level player that you're going to be really happy with? Obviously, they spent a lot of time scouting De La Vega before they brought him in, so why kind of leave a hole in your roster unless obviously an opportunity presents itself? But if it's not, then I'd say give him another chance. Hopefully he can stay healthier this season. And maybe in summer, if it's still not working out, that's when you make your move.
Yeah, I agree. Also, Mike Baston's got his pants on. We're all good. He's got his pants on. And
the pants on show. With the pants on show.
And I agree. Chicho was a little bit interesting. I didn't think RSL were going to move him, especially with them getting rid of Julio. I thought it was just going to be him.
Yeah, what is RSL doing right now? What's the end game?
I have no clue. They got Paulo Ruiz coming back. I don't know. That's about it.
Well, they made all that money from the player they sold
this guy.
To hey, I got his card. I mean, maybe it's his time.
I guess so. It's got to be somebody.
It's Luna's time, I guess. Yeah, they don't have a number 9 though, right?
Manuel
from Red Bulls. They brought him over.
Oh yeah,
they don't have a number 9 then. So. Kidding. But yeah, they do have Pablo Ruiz. He comes back again.
Yeah. Pablo Ruiz is going to be back, and I agree. I think San Jose with Bruce and the moves that they're making could be dangerous. I don't know MLS Cup dangerous, but definitely could get a home playoff game if they do what Bruce has done throughout his career.
Yeah, and I think I'm trying to remember what their schedule is like to start the season. If it was exceptionally,
if Chicho is an issue, was he an issue? That's a speculation that we were all speculating, right? That he's an issue in the locker room or whatever. Bruce is the exact kind of guy that will deal with that. He can deal with that guy. Just
fine. I'm pretty sure that was what it was, but. Yeah, I'm not sure here. I got their schedule pulled up here on Sorare data. I just did for Christian Espinoza, who I think is probably overall the biggest beneficiary from this. I think Hernan Lopez and him are both going to be doing a lot with him over there. But let's see. RSL at home to start, so revenge game immediately. Then we got Sporting, Minnesota, and Colorado. That's a good force fixture start for them. I like that a lot.
That's effectively 4 home games with the SKC away. That's
let's not do that. Come on. You're not wrong though, unless we sign someone. And that'll be, I think that's sandwiched in between 2
CCLs.
Games. Yeah, CCL games with y'all. I think it's either that or the RSL one, or the first game of the year is. But yeah, then Charlotte away. Knowing last year that was hard. That was a hard schedule fixture because that was when they were keeping clean sheets basically every home game.
Yeah.
Seattle home, DC, LA, and then us again. That first 10 is not bad at all. There's probably 5 fixtures where it will be either close or them favored.
And I don't think this is going to be like last year, right, where they're just getting blanked, 3-0, 2-0 every game. Hopefully, maybe this is Pellegrini's year, right? Really, really under expectations based on past performances year for Pellegrini whenever he came into the league. People were hyped. I mean, I was kind of excited for him. His card price was going insane. If y'all remember when his first couple of cards.
I remember it was over 100.
He had. I mean, I want to say Oscar level scores, but they were near
at Bodo.
Yeah,
he was nuts.
He had. I mean,
yeah. Look at that map.
Crazy.
First cards ever. He was going to be sort of a differential if you're playing in season because not that many people were going to have him. And obviously he did not meet that quota quite. Although, what were his scores kind of going into the latter part of the year?
They were.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't good.
Yeah, and
they
I
were
mean
not a
that
good
can be
team
blamed on
last
the
year.
system and everything else that was
We
going on
blamed
there.
on a
So
lot of things.
So yeah, we can kind of wipe away, and like this year, let's see, like San Jose's trying to build a winner at this point. Like you feel like they're trying to build a winner.
So why go for why not go for Espinoza instead?
So because they are about the same price. I went with Lopez because I think he will be the centerpiece of what they do. I could be wrong, but this was just like I'm looking at two guys, same price, same like in theory skill level or like what they want to do, and I just went with the guy who I thought will have the better season. And I could definitely be wrong. There's nothing that says like he is the guy.
Yeah.
And I think.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say,
I think
I agree with Germ on this. The MVP, that's actually a real thing. I love Espinoza with this situation.
Yeah. Well, I think like the case to be made for Espinoza is how much of the set pieces he hogs. Like not last year, but the year prior, he actually took every single like corner kick for the team across the entire year. I think like it was either or close to every single corner kick. And there's no one that hogs that level of set pieces. Last year, it looks like I got some stats pulled up. I have for attacking like final third set pieces, free kicks, that I have SB taking 83% and Lazota or Hernan taking 17% of those. And I don't remember if Espinoza was injured for any of that. And then as for the corners, it was 90% were Espinoza. So that's the case to be made. If you think that they are going to be better, at least off the set pieces, then potentially you look for the Espinoza play, or if you think you're going to be better in the live ball, I have
Real quick,
neither.
you want to just throw up to my screen. If anybody doesn't know how to use the Scout Center, as we're talking about set pieces, if you're in the Scout Center and you go to the advanced view, you can just turn on set pieces taken. So that's what I have. That's what I'm showing here. And then you can filter it by a team, and you can see right here. And it's exactly backing up what you're saying. Like for the percentages, or I guess this is like total per game, but I guess it works out to be that way.
The only thing I wonder about this, and this is something that, because I actually scraped all the event data from Who Scored, and the one thing I wonder here is that, for example, like look at the Paul Murray set piece.
Yeah.
Right? That was probably, I wonder if that was in like the opponent's half, but not necessarily in the final third.
Yeah, because let's see, what is it? Yeah, it's just per taken. So yeah, you don't really.
This is brand new though. I actually played with this a little bit the other day, and I was like, dang, my advantages are going down. People have access to data.
I know, and that's what I was saying. And I actually, I mentioned, I messaged Laird and I said, is this like kind of tab coming to SD? Because I mean, I feel like whatever SD is doing, like Sorare is just kind of coming in and doing it themselves, and it really seems from that perspective.
I think the lineup builder is still the elite piece, the ability to, I think they've definitely integrated a lot of the features from Sorare data, but I think at the same time, it's one of those cases where like other companies, like they copy something they see from another group that does it because they like that, but they don't necessarily do it as well, or it's not integrated. It doesn't integrate into their system as well. I mean, here it makes sense, right? But I feel like I'm so used to just using Sorare data or my own personal data sets that I would just probably use those instead still.
But I do think the set pieces new features are coming. Like this stuff, like set pieces, like stuff. They are working on some new feature stuff and new filters for us, but he couldn't confirm or deny anything for me.
That's fair.
I also was skimming through stats yesterday. You were talking about it earlier, Thomas, but Espinoza has the most corners taken out of any MLS player last year. And so This gives him an even bigger advantage on that. Also got to catch up on chat. Red or Dead, what's up? No, we're a little late on that, but how are you? Also, Jorge's never seen this before. Jorge, what are we doing? Yeah, start going on Sorare, dude. And Mike says just buy both. Buy Hernan.
Why not
and
both?
Espinosa.
Why not both?
That's not
Add
a bad
together.
thought.
I'm
May
not gonna
as
lie,
well.
it's probably gonna happen. I am looking for a third keeper right now, though. That's my next.
Is it going to be Daniel?
It's gonna be
I already
Poolscan.
have Daniel. I
Oh,
already
there
have
you
Daniel.
go.
I
will
have
say-
Daniel and Fry, so I'm probably might.
We gotta get Gazan.
I literally was pulling it up for 15 bucks.
I've been trying to get a Gazan.
Is he 15?
Believe me.
He's $15 now. That's actually
I was gonna pick
cheaper.
one up for this price. I
Was
don't
like-
know why I'm showing this on
He
stream.
was going for like 20 a week or two ago. I feel.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm debating if I should just go for the Kalina or should I just like get the Gazan for 15.
Yeah, Kalina's expensive. I got mine like super. I bought a Kalina card, a rare card, in I think November. Like once they'd been eliminated from the playoffs, and it was about $37 when I bought it. I think people are asking somewhere around $70 to $80. Yeah,
Yeah, 72 week average.
that's
Let's
it.
see.
Yeah.
84.
Yeah, I put mine up just for fun. When I ended up canceling a training lineup with him in it because I was making a trade, and I put it up for like 100, and then someone sent me a really bad offer. I blocked them, which I don't do often.
You gotta block him.
I
I will say
I'm usually even more petty, and I send them a really bad counter.
You got to use the block.
Yeah, I will say Dane Sinclair for $30 is not like that bad. He
turned it on at the end of the season, didn't he? Yeah, like he kind of turned it up at the end.
I think Minnesota are starting to figure this out, this league out. They've always been sort of felt like they were always performing better than they probably should have been, and now it's, hey, we think we could actually be pretty good. I really like Yeboah. He was very good for them. I mean, you look at the scores.
I saw Sang Bin is obviously out, and I think I saw that Pookie and Minnesota they're working on a mutual buyout.
Yeah, they're getting Pookie. I think Pookie was about to. Well, he wants to go back to Finland, is what I saw. Is that there's Finnish clubs interested in him, but yeah, that was sort of the. I want to say that was maybe one of the last signings they made before I started. That made everyone scratch their head. Pookie was fun for a second, right? But he wasn't the future. Versus Yeboah, this is someone that I think is flying under the radar a little bit, and maybe not so much anymore, just looking at his price. But someone that I think I picked up his card actually towards the end of the playoffs when they were playing the Galaxy, and because he kind of popped up on some stats for me, and I was thinking maybe I should have his card.
I like Joseph Rosales going into this year too because he's now listed. I think he could be good. He had some good weeks last year.
Here's my thought about Rosales. And it's funny because Keith was talking about him, and I was like, "Dang it, Keith! Like I haven't gotten his card yet. Quit saying his name to the masses, like to the local few here that hang out on Friday night or whatever time it is in your time zone. You get the inside scoop from us, but not to the Sorare data masses.
Yeah.
But you know what the interesting thing about Rosales is that he plays in that left back, left wing back position. And while his scores are not better as a defender, they still are pretty good for a defender and challenger. And he takes set pieces. So I think there's a good chance he could actually have his new card rebranded as defender card.
That would be big too.
Which is something that has him on the top of my chart. It's the reason why I haven't bought his current card, because it's like his midfielder card. You look at however many other midfielders in MLS are just smashing it every week. I'm like, a defender card though, I actually would be very interested in. And you look at his scores though, I think as a defender, he's not better than his midfielder right now, but that could be better. I think if they have a better season than they did last year. I kind of feel like they're on a trajectory right now to improve. So you see, they kind of go down a little bit,
slightly worse, but
it's like you still getting those.
Oh yeah, just a slightly dip in AA, but then again, that doesn't really. It's not enough sample.
Yeah.
As a goalkeeper, No, yeah.
So
And then
that's yeah.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to bring up a comment. So you have any closing things about results?
No, that's my tip for the masses. That he is someone that pops up in terms of a lot of progressive passes made. This is something I've been looking at as a stat for Sorare players a lot. So if you're not familiar with what the definition of a progressive pass is, it is. Let me just bring up so it's a forward pass that attempts to like significantly be closer to the opponent's goal. So it's a forward pass moving closer to the opponent's goal. There's a cutoff. I forget. I think it's like X number of yards. It's a great way to measure like who's actually moving the ball towards the goal with their passes. And he popped up as someone that actually has a really high volume of progressive passes. If you want, I'll share my screen and kind of show you what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
and it's not just. Let me get to it real quick. It's not just the. Here we go. So it's not just that he is moving the ball. I think the only downside is his completion percentage for progressive passes are kind of low. But when you look at the areas that he's making these passes in, this is something I've created. This is like a self-calculated percentile amongst MLS that I did for sort of a little side project when I had time over the holidays to kind of rehash some skills that I have. And what I love about his heat map is that a lot of these progressive passes are happening in zones that are, moving the ball towards the goal, right, into dangerous spots. And these are not free kicks or anything like that. These are, live action plays. So this is why he popped up in terms of just the number of progressive passes. The one thing, and this is where you kind of see that lower AA, I like to see is his completion percentage increase, because when you have other players that have a very high completion percentage, and I'll just take Alba for example, and a lot of progressive passes happening in really deadly areas, these are where you get your Jordi Alba type scores in Sorare.
Yeah. No, Alba was, I believe, the best defender last year, minus Kai. And I know towards the end of the year, people were stacking Alba. And so if you can get this guy for this cheap.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's my hope is, and that's
I got priced out of Alba.
Yeah.
I've been priced out.
I almost picked his card up, but I was like, God, is he gonna? I mean, I kind of said to myself, there's no way he doesn't not re-sign with Miami, but I was like, I just don't want to get burned by Miami. Like, anyways. So yeah, that's my thesis on why Joseph Rosales is potentially a sneaker pick.
I like that. Yeah, especially with the Yeboah up top, like that can be very dangerous with those forward passes. I will say Redder Dead brought up Murto Azuni, who I did see this earlier today, and he definitely could be beneficial.
Didn't he sit out of training or something?
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Sat out of training in Granada, missed the last game, and missed today's game. So yeah, that's 19 goals and 26 starts. Very, very good. But
so that
they did just pick
like
up Vasquez, so that's maybe a double.
But can he play? Yeah, can he play like a false nine or something along those lines?
Let's see, where do they have him in their formation?
Because Druzy at times was almost like that.
They got a 2-striker formation, so maybe that's what they end up doing. They switch over.
But they have a new coach, right? And if you remember, this is who coached Pepe and Ferreira, right?
Yeah.
And they sort of had like a 2-striker false. I don't know if you call it a false nine, but both are strikers, right? And can play up top. So maybe that's what he's trying to do, which 9 to 10 years older. I guess Vasquez is like 25, 26.
Yeah. But that could definitely be cool. Germ says they're gonna be pissed playing Nico ball. I guess that is true. Like when you look at Dallas from those years, it was genuinely just Pepe and Ferreira.
Pepe was slamming him in though.
That is true. Yeah, it maybe not fun to watch, but you could watch Sorare scores and it'll be good. And we also got Benito in Portugal.
Welcome, friend.
Yeah,
Benito, actually, I was just talking with our good friend Bob. The new kits from Puma, the Portuguese kits, dude, are fire. I
oh,
can't
I
wait to
haven't seen those.
get my hands on the red, on the home red.
I do have a Portuguese kit on the way. It's not Portugal national team, but I have a Sporting Lisbon home shirt coming in, the black one. And you know who I got on the back? Obviously, he played one friendly for him at the beginning of the year before he transferred over to Toluca. We got Paulinho.
Hey, there you go.
So,
I'm
The black
waiting.
one is nice.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see. I'm gonna probably. I assume they'll be selling them at the Miami game, Porto. I want to see if we can pick up a kit.
oh yeah, that's not a bad shout. But yeah, so we're going over that. I think we should go over some transfers. I'm gonna give a shout out to Nielme on Twitter, French Sorare content creator, also Atlanta United fan.
Big Joseph fan. I beat him out for this signed card. I think he wasn't happy. I've never given it up. So sorry, bud.
But he basically links every tweet for transfers that happen, the MLS rumors, all sorts of stuff like that. So follow him on Twitter. Check him out. This is what I use for mine. I know a bit of French, so sometimes it can be helpful, but most of the time, just click translate tweet, and it's a lot easier. But first off, we got Kelsey going to Portland. That's been a thing for a little bit. I think they're still trying to figure that out. Yeah, Bogert also that is Bogert. So yeah, that definitely could happen. Hinderstroza, I also saw this. This is another Bogert thing. This was a loan last year, I believe. And now he's just coming back on another one. And it's kind of interesting because he didn't really go crazy last year. Maybe they're bringing him in just in case they got to move someone. Cucho, possibly. Maybe. You guys think Cucho's gone?
Cucho, like Columbus Crew Cucho? No.
Yeah. You think he's staying?
Yeah, well, so I don't know if y'all watched the Soccer Wise stream they did today at the podcast, but Tom said that there's been no news, and I think to phrase it, that's good news. I think that's how he phrased it. So, yeah, I think I'm feeling good about Cucho staying. Things are good. Obviously, Columbus is going to only want big money. I know Botafogo were the interested party from the whatever tech store sports group that took Almada as well. But I don't know. I mean, going to Brazil, there's no promise of Europe. I know Leon's kind of in a weird position where right now they have to loan Almada to Leon, so they can't actually transfer him yet because they're in trouble with the financial oversight of or Ligue 1, I guess is the proper phrase. But
yeah,
I'm feeling good.
Yeah, also, at this point, nothing is making me feel that he's leaving. But we're still so early.
Like nothing would have made me say Chicho Arango was going to leave RSL.
True.
What do you know?
No, yeah. I also think I think the summer is the more dangerous time for him to leave. Maybe Europe comes.
If he's really still just tearing it up, because they get another run at Champions League or Champions Cup, and that would be over before summer transfer window opens, I believe. So I think that's what I bet you he's hungry for that again. And,
for sure. Yeah, I agree.
He's a great, what a player. What a
competitor. Yeah, it'd be sad to see him go, but when players are that good, they end up.
As long as he doesn't go to Saudi.
Follow Zelariana. I think Lucas probably texted him. He's like, "Yeah, don't go. It's not worth it.
It's not worth it, man. It's not worth it."
Yeah, and Germ also bringing up Alex Padilla headed over to Pumas. He did get there like 2 days ago. That's a big signing. If you guys are playing Liga MX, it's a really good limited keeper. And probably him and Nahuel are probably the two best limited keepers, with Malagone sitting out however long with that shenanigans at Club America. But speaking of Pumas, we got Coco Carrasquilla headed over there, most likely. I know CL Merlo was talking about that a lot. That just kind of makes sense. He hasn't really hit the ground running at all in Houston. And
it seemed like he was going to move last year, and it just never happened. So
I think they just couldn't. Yeah, that was surprising because I know there was a bunch of rumored Europe interest, and I don't know I'm surprised it never worked out. I think he's a fantastic player. I love even though it was against the U.S., he just plays all out for his country, and you can see the passion. And yeah, I think he's a fun player. I think he will be excellent in Liga MX. Houston need to find some replacements for some lost spots, but if they can, maybe it's time to cash in and reinvest a little bit.
Yeah. Also, shout out Red or Dead. Yeah, send over that. You're doing some really good trivia work yesterday, so had to give us something. But yeah, I think maybe they could give Artur a bigger role to help with Ache leaving, but with Karasiki gone, they're gonna have to go out and find a replacement. Then Joao Paulo new contract. We talked about this on another show. I don't. This kind of opens the gates for maybe do they sell someone? Maybe Obed Vargas, but I doubt it. They're just bringing him in to just give him depth. Next up, still Fitz. Fitz rumors are still happening. And I don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't think this is the complete like. Someone showed up to a scouting session is the only thing I read in these stories, right?
Yeah.
How many teams? Like if a team shows up, it doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Yeah, no offer made yet. I don't think he's too. I don't know why Vienna would trade him.
This is also just me being like spiteful towards the Red Bulls. So read between the lines here, but I have no insider info. I just.
Listen, we've seen the kind of moves the Red Bulls make.
Exactly. I'm like, this is a good move. Like, this is not what the Red Bulls do. The Red Bulls make it to MLS Cup and then go after a 35-year-old designated player that most teams
DP striker
could probably sign on a non-DP contract.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I still don't understand how I was able to flip that card. Like, I didn't know that people actually were buying up Choupo-Moting, but I guess when someone that they know goes to MLS, the immediate thing is to buy them. So
that was brought up. Like everybody thinks that if you're not an MLSer, like when a guy comes from Europe or whatever, like everybody's impression is that the guy's gonna smash. Like this is like the dreams of like Beckham all those years ago, where like he just dominates the league, and it doesn't really work like that anymore.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I'm not like poo-pooing on the guy. I think obviously he played for Bayern. There's the highest quality, right? I'm looking at it and thinking from like a strategic standpoint, from running a business. You went this route when pretty much all other teams could probably figure out a way, or just would say, hey, yeah, we're going to pass it up, because you couldn't find any other designated player spot. And I guess, was it a free move? Like, is that what? Yeah. And maybe that's what they said. Well, if we can get him for free, then we feel it's worth the value. But still, there's no like marketing value, because like I don't think he's going to necessarily fill seats, right? And they really need to fill seats, as we found out about the numbers last night of the Red Bulls. It's just from a strategy business standpoint, it was a head scratcher, honestly.
Yeah. And then and the last point on that is like a couple things. One, the travel in MLS is terrible, and I thought it was going to kill Suarez just having to do that, and Messi, to be honest. I thought they both were going to really suffer from the travel, and I still think players do suffer. I don't know. Like, Messi kind of sat out.
Everyone hates it. Everyone hates it.
And secondly, that deal would be on the table for the Red Bulls at the close of the window. Like, that's not the opening move you make, because that deal's not going anywhere. It's always there for you.
So what you do
is you can't get anything else.
Yeah, right. You try and make the move to get the player that could potentially be, a long-time future player for your club, that really to help you win that cup that you've never won in the history of the organization that's been around since the get-go of MLS. But yeah, I don't know.
That move is just sitting there forever, whenever you want it.
Now they got a striker. They got a striker now.
I mean, they got a nice data analytics department. I gotta give them that. So obviously they saw something.
Yeah, like we're definitely wrong, because like there's no way you go from the championship and then you make that signing and then we're all here just like shitting on it. Like they know something that we don't know.
Yeah. Also, shout out Red or Dead for winning Unlimited from Common. That's difficult nowadays. Oof. So much competition. And good turning that into a Meki story. Maybe we'll get to that in a little bit. And then I think this is the last transfer I want to talk about, because it's basically confirmed today. Not confirmed, but it seems like it's going to go through. And that's Velasco over to Boca. Dallas got rid of Ferreira, and we were like, okay, at least I got Velasco. Now who they got? They ain't got
What's
nobody.
could go to Premier League?
Yeah, it was Nottingham, right? Who was going after him?
Supposedly.
So if they don't have any of those guys, I don't know what to say. Yeah, Musa was he was all right, but yeah, Boca 10 mil. That seemed like it was enough when they offered it, and we were all kind of like they're probably going to accept it, and now it seems like they are.
Well, it's good business, right? You're getting an ROI, and maybe not the level of ROI that I hope they get whenever they brought him in, just because there's a very tall ceiling for Velasco. I greatly enjoy his time in the league. I thought he's been very good. Hated that he got injured like that, but look, Boca's loaded up for the Club World Cup, just like Seattle Sounders are. So money's there. Like, you got to take it sometimes. It's sort of, I kind of see this similar to whenever we sold Giacomakis to Cruz Azul. Like, at the end of the day, I don't think he's getting as lucrative of a contract if he had stayed in the league. But at the end of the day, good business is good business, and this is maybe good business for the short term or for the long term, and not for the short term in terms of results on the pitch.
Yeah, no, I agree. 10 mil's a lot of money. Zach, you got any thoughts on this one?
I mean, with what Dallas has kind of done, this sort of fits with their current vision, and that is like we're doing something for the long term, as Thomas was saying, and like this move just makes sense for them. I think at this point.
Yeah, you kind of pair this up with the fact they just signed like 5 freaking homegrown talents for a team that won the MLS Pro Championship, which I think means something. I think when you look at any team that wins that, you're like, yeah, there's some players on there that are going to be killers in this league.
No, yeah, I agree.
And two other notes when we're moving on to
the
next guy. Whenever you're ready.
We got.
I saw that Manito put it in there, but Segovia, that deal was from Fabrizio had mentioned that Segovia is going to Miami. I looked up his card because I wasn't familiar with the player, but because he plays at Casapia, dude has no cards and they are real expensive. If you want to get your hands on one, I was like, nope. I just turned right.
Yeah, I looked it up too. Actually, I looked it up too, and I was exactly. I said, nope, not going to overpay for you. Yep. I'll wait for your cards to be minted whenever MLS gets new cards.
Yeah, that's exactly. I was like, I'll wait for the in seasons.
This is who LA Galaxy are going after, or LAFC?
No, he's going to. No, this is to Miami.
Oh, to Miami as well. So where would he slot in? Because this is another.
Again, I don't know.
Like would this be competition between Balta and him?
It certainly could be. But again, it's like they're making moves right now that are just.
They're loading up.
Getting young. Like they are bringing the average age of this team down drastically right now.
Probably slot in probably here, like right there. Realistically, but yeah, no, Miami are loading up. I like to see a team making moves. You know who isn't making moves? Bruce reminding me. I will say we did actually make a move. I'll pull it up here because although
he's going to Galaxy, I thought it was to Miami. My bad. It was Galaxy. Because like Fabrizio's tweet here, which I have pulled up,
he worded it weirdly. And then there's another player that everyone thought was going to the Galaxy, but are going to LAFC. Yeah. There's been a lot of confusion. Yeah, look, Fabrizio. Do you think maybe he got mixed up?
Yeah, because then Alex, who's like one of my main follows, also kind of quoting off that, but I don't think she got anything from the front office, and she usually gets pretty good insight. From them. So maybe he just reported this wrong.
Interesting.
Quite possible.
So then it makes more sense now that there's not going to be the controversy with my boy who I just purchased.
There you
if
go.
he goes to the Galaxy, but
I hope so.
Another piece for the Galaxy up front. Like again, I don't know how good he is. I have to really look at him and.
Yeah, he's saying
see how he fits in.
2.5 mil from Casapine. But yeah, and then going back to Bruce's chat, yes, we made a move. All right, we signed one homegrown player to a contract. That's as entertaining as things have gotten over here. Besides the day that we let everybody go. So yeah, And then yeah, I've seen a lot of chat about this too. Reddit talking about a MLS league splitting off from Challenger and becoming our own sort of league. Do you guys think that's going to happen? Do you think there's a chance?
Your guess is as good as mine. I hope it happens. I think it makes sense, right? And the reason I don't think it'll kill Challenger during the summer, yeah, because Brazil is not, as far as we know, going to be covered in terms of any new teams, which means there are going to be no teams playing during the summer until I guess whenever the Danish league or Belgian league starts. If they were to announce it, I would assume they would probably do something along the lines of where they wouldn't have this open until the next European season. So they would have Challenger go through the summer, and then they would have the MLS specific competition start at the beginning of the European season. So that way it doesn't disrupt it this summer, but then the next summer potentially, and who knows what they do then. It makes sense. It's 30 teams. That now it's a lot of different players. There's a lot of Europeans, I feel like, that hate a lot of MLS players because they were trying to basically, fudge the numbers to make it look like Puig was never going to start and everything like that. People obviously were tired of him getting 90 to 100 every single week. And at the same time too, like we're always complaining about PSV and other stacks, right? So this is a divorce that I'm okay with.
No, yeah, I agree. 30 teams is just a big league. And I feel like Challenger has plenty of teams already, especially with Eredivisie, Jupiler, even football championship.
It's still competitive right now, right? Like there's tons going on. And it just sort of like, I think the only thing I would think is if they were to move, if they're to do MLS specific competition, I assume they would move Brazil into contender.
I agree.
Brazil has 2 licensed teams currently.
They have 0 licensed teams currently. Someone noted today.
2 on there.
Somebody noted today that they were removed, but that might just because the new year started.
Yeah, and if not, that kind of signals this idea though that maybe they do have it. Like, because I feel like both moves would kind of either they cut Brazil out and that's that, and then MLS takes over, or Brazil gets moved down to Challenger.
I can see a flip over into maybe an America competition back. Maybe split off Argentina, Mexico, and whatever South American leagues into just one America competition too.
I think Ameki should have been with, should have been with MLS anyway. But I know, MLS probably needs to change their schedule in a way that fits better. But I wouldn't be opposed to them going to a split season like Ameki's. That would be fun.
Yep. Yeah, I know. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. That's all.
Oh, yeah, and I know if you're unaware, Argentina also split off. They're doing Apertura Clausura this year too, so they're doing a split season, and that's becoming a little bit more of a common thing. They ended that in 2012, and they're bringing that back. So that's even more games for utility for Argentina. But me and Thomas were talking about it. That does mean more DNPs and rotation for sure. But yeah, I like the idea of MLS competition, but it would mean that a lot of the people that play it would probably be Americans, and that would for me would make it even more fun. And maybe some Europeans come in, try to get some cash, but they wouldn't know as much as
they're gonna beat us out.
Exactly.
They probably will, be honest.
Yeah,
we've got NBA, we've got MLB, we're getting our own football competition.
That is true. Europe does boss a lot of NBA, so maybe but there's a market for that over there. But that'd be big for cash for people that build up big MLS collections.
For me, it's like partly wishful thinking, right? I'm not going to get my hopes up. I think they're supposed to do an announcement in the near future, what I recall. But we'll see. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep with my strategy. I don't believe Classic is going to stay dead. I do think they're going to try and fix it if it needs fixing, depending on who you are. I think there's value to be found in Classic still. It's just hard to find sometimes.
Yeah, you got to dig in. I know Nep was talking about that
in there.
Yeah, he was talking about how he thinks Classic's in a good spot, and Mike thinks league specific competition is only something Sorare wants for champion leagues. I know. Yeah, we've talked about this. That they went basically Prem, La Liga, and Bundesliga as the league only competitions. Those are also big leagues. Like I get like
we're a big league. We got
exactly
30 teams.
So
basically 2 leagues.
We're the biggest league. Us in Argentina are the only team leagues that I know that are 30 people, like, or 30 teams. Like, that's a lot of teams. And so I think there might be some weird league where it's like a split, but nothing as big, like as popular as ours. But yeah, I think if any league is to get its own competition, I think MLS is probably next up.
I think it's just more. I don't even think of it from like they're a top league. I think from an experience standpoint of a lot of the complaints you hear in Challenger is just it is the most competitive division. It is, in my opinion, just because I played other divisions and I'm like, this is kind of easy compared to Challenger. But I like Challenger. Like, I like these teams. I like these clubs. I wanna win stuff with these cards because I like to watch these teams. So it's
that's the same way I feel. Like, I know how it stinks going up against the PSV stacks. Like, when you're an MLS player, but like, these are the guys I want to win with, and if I win with them, great. And if I don't, that's fine too, because I'm at least watching the guys I want to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
So it works.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I like Liga MX. You can watch them. Like, that's one of my favorite parts about Sorare is actually being able to watch the guys. And they're obviously guys you can find that are just they're too good of scores not to want to watch them. But if you're going to attack strategies, that's a big part for me. And I think that maybe shy away some European people if they can't watch MLS. They don't want to pay $100 for season pass like us sickos all do, or it comes with season tickets. But yeah. And then, we'll go into this. Thomas, I know that you had some data involving J League, which you're very big into for Contender.
Yes. So, speaking of Challengers, a lot more difficult. I really found Contender to be not easier, but lower price point for trying to break into it. And so, for any of the data people out there, there is a company that is sort of one of the bigger housers of data. They either bought StatsBomb or they merged with StatsBomb. I forget how the acquisition actually happened, but it's like Scout Huddle is sort of the company, and they are a big data provider for a lot of clubs. So if you are interested in also being a data analyst for a club, maybe this is a good thing to watch. The graphics are a little less impressive for the J League one because this is a little bit more ad hoc than the MLS one, but it's in the same spirit where you have these abilities to calculate a lot of the different stats from the data that was provided by Scout for J League at absolutely no cost. They released all the data for the entire 2024 season for free, which to me I was like, cool. Now I can actually try and scout some players. So first off, I got a nice little list, and if you're interested in it, then I'll definitely share it with y'all. But
real quick, Bogart bomb. Emi Ochoa to Cruz Azul is on the verge of collapse.
Oh, really? Oh man, I feel bad for that guy.
I'll pull it up just to show the people. Oh wait, you already have it up.
I thought you were gonna say it was done. I was like, well, that's not a Bogart.
No.
Like,
verge of collapse.
Dang.
That made
He's
me laugh.
Go,
I was like,
send him to
this poor guy. Yeah.
Send him to San Diego.
Yeah, let him get some burn somewhere.
Yeah,
that's so minutes.
Funny. He needs minutes.
All right, Thomas, you got those graphics. I know Redder did.
Yeah. So it's a little bit. I'm just going to share my entire screen. I think for this window. Move this over here.
This is good stuff, people. By the way, if you're getting into J League, this is very important data.
So this is the MLS one, right? The J League one is like way rougher, but this is all using a software called Tableau, and this is where I use this in my work day to day. That's how come I'm familiar with it. But the nice thing is that it provides you this ability to calculate. Some of it are already provided, but others you have to calculate yourself. So two of the data points I've been looking at a lot this year are what I mentioned before is progressive pass. And the other thing is what's called a key pass. And so the definition that I'm using as a key pass is the pass made to someone prior to making a shot on goal, but that shot did not result in a goal. And so I was able to go through here. And what I did was I just said, all right, like first off, let's look at who are our biggest key passers, who are creating a ton of chances, but aren't necessarily getting the results that we'd like to see, and who are making a lot of progressive passes in really dangerous spots. And finally, and this is like a stream from a while back with Laird, but he brought up a visual that I think he created, and it was of like free kick takers and everything. And I kind of glanced at it, and I was like, "Oh, that looks really good." I mean, kudos to him. I think he has a really great design taste. Because my other question was, who's taking? I think is kind of cool because we don't always get the free kick information, especially for leagues across the entire world for us. Right. So I kind of just said, hey, who's taking free kicks? What positions are they in? Who's getting a strong majority? And this is kind of where I started. And then I use these other stats to kind of link it together. So if you look at this list, you can kind of make some assumptions. You can kind of see some of these players that I pulled in. So the first one that I brought his card in is Takashi Usami. So he plays for Gamba Osaka, who had a pretty stellar season last year. They also had probably one of the best goalkeepers in the league. It's funny he says he's a substitute when he's not, but he is someone that actually had fairly strong Sorare scores in the last year. I brought his card in. I mean, these are for a forward in J League. These are pretty strong scores. For only $20, $17 now. I think it was like $19 when I paid for it. And this is kind of my point, where I think this card, when you look at a challenger, even for classic, it'd be $40. But I don't think we're necessarily getting twice as much money in challenger than contender, and it's also twice as competitive in some cases. So like, that's why I'm like excited for bringing in these players. The other one that I really liked, and although they're starting to bite me now, is Ryo Hatsuse. But apparently he has links to a foreign club. So maybe he's coming to MLS, maybe he's going to Europe. He takes almost all the set pieces for Vissel Kobe, who was the winner of J League for the last 2 seasons in a row. Yeah, and so like that's kind of been my strategy in terms of pulling in these players. I don't know, is there anyone that pops out to y'all you want to dig into, or do you want me to just kind of run through?
Is this your first year playing J?
No, I played J League for about 2 years in a row. I think the first
year. Now you
year,
have access to data. This is like your first year with data.
I straight up went on like vibes the last couple of times, or like I think the first year was, I think I just said I just want a J League team because I want to learn about this league. So I picked up Avispa Fukuoka, and I just made a squad from them, and they actually won me like decent scores a couple of times, but they were pretty mid-table. Like the problem with J League a lot of times is you get great defenders, you get great goalkeepers, but you have some teams that really like to bunker down, and they won't have the great results on the other end. And so that's, but you have like Hiroyuki May, who is moving to, I think he's moving somewhere else. Hold on. I think he's going to the big club that got promoted last year that spent a bunch of money. But he is someone that could be one of those like AA beasts in terms of just racking up all these different, Machida Zelvia. This is a really good move, I think, for him. Really low price point still. I don't think he's going to have much in terms of set pieces, assists, goals. He's just someone that I think could potentially rack up some really high scores. I think I got him for like $1. So pretty low buy point. Issa Sakamoko, this is someone that popped on a lot of the different stats categories for chance creation whenever I was looking through the stats. So you kind of see he has a lot of, some peaks and troughs, but when we look at forwards for him, because I don't even think he takes any set pieces. For him, he has a lot of the right things. And what's interesting about J League is players get loaned out a lot, like a lot. That's the one thing I'm noticing. I mean, these clubs have swaths of players that are loaned out every season, and they're always loaned within the league. They really they don't move around too much. So he is returning from, so he was with Gamba last year. When you look at the forwards, where are you at? You look at progressive passes. Where was he?
Is he there?
Should be there. There we go. Yeah. This is what I like about him. 73% of his progressive passes were completed. That's very high for a forward. Very high for a forward. He's a little down there in terms of total progressive passes completed, but just the fact that he's completing at a very high rate of them. And then when you look at his key passes, lower there, but I think it's also because he had a lot of substitution appearances. He's someone I haven't picked up yet. He's someone that I think could actually emerge. Just kind of the data is kind of talking to me right there, but I quite haven't picked up his card yet. Yeah, then I think you have some other guys that are kind of known players like Gotoku Sakai. He is someone that just racks up AA a lot when he's healthy on a team that's won 2 championships in a row. The price point for a player, like how much? Let's play a game, right? How much do you think his rare is worth right now?
I'm gonna say like $15.
I'm gonna say $18.
Try half that.
Mm-hmm.
$7 for
such a slept-on league. Yeah, for a guy who puts up scores like.
And this is sort of my thesis, right? Is that like people don't pay enough attention to J League because it's a really hard to scout league. Because when you go to sites like Transfermarkt and SofaScore and FootMob or whatever, typically there's not the data there, or it's very sparse. Transfermarkt, half the time they don't even know what the value of a transfer was, right? It's just always that question mark. And so then as a result, a lot of the key sources people are using, I mean, I would actually argue that Sorare data is probably one of the better sources for J League scouting in terms of websites, because they bring in a lot of data from Sorare's API, which I believe is fed by Opta for J League. And so that's why when I got this data, I said, this is an opportunity, right? Like this is a chance to pull in some players in a league that's less used by a lot of people and bring in some differentials to compete with the likes of Celtic and others.
Yeah, and I know Dujay was in the comments saying that Usami's contract expires at the end of this month. Is that correct?
So, and this is where it comes again. Yeah. So Usami's contract supposedly expires at the end of this month, but there's nothing out there that says it. And then at the same time, too, Gamba just announced their league roster or their roster for this year, and Usami's on there, right? So there's always this lack of information that makes it very hard to figure out exactly what's going on all the time, which is a lot of time why I end up just hopping in the Discord to get answers, because there are people over in Japan, I believe, that play the game, and then they're able to actually provide a little bit more insight. But yeah, there's nothing that I've asked. I've hopped all over. I've used Google Translate to translate the news from Gamba's website, and there's nothing that says he's not back. They've announced their team roster going into next season. He's on it.
Yeah, there you go. There's the answer for you, DJ. And then yeah, Mike's bringing up the similar point to what you were talking about, is they don't release transfer fees.
See, I didn't know that either.
There you go. That's cool to know. All right, let's flip back from a little football. I know NBA just locked.
One more thing.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
All right. Yeah. Here's the one that you got to be watching this year. Rafael Elias. So his transfer from Cruzeiro is final, and yeah, these are his scores whenever he was with Kyoto Sanga.
Mm-hmm.
Kyoto Sanga. He was very, very good. This is probably like one of the better striker scores you'll see for the end of the season. He has like no cards, so I don't want to pick it up right now. He only has 13 rare cards from I don't remember when we printed these cards or started printing these cards. But he's someone that whenever we do get his new cards, I'll be watching and possibly picking up, because once again, not a heavily scouted league, could fly under the radar unless people just see its scores and the platform.
No, yeah, I love it. I love all this Sky J League stuff. Like this does open up my eyes because you've sent me this stuff before, and trying to see to who maybe I can bring in to mix with my Emekis players going into the summer. Because it's kind of just like these two leagues running during Contender, right? I believe so.
K League in
K-
in Ecuador, but they don't print new cards for them.
Oh, okay. So yeah, J League does run through the summer, right?
Yeah, J League, K League, and Liga MX are the summer contender leagues.
In Argentina.
In Argentina, yes.
Yeah, so those
But
four
J
like
League, K League, and I guess Liga MX are the only ones that are going to have in-season cards.
yeah, and J League probably will have. Would it be the most contender cards?
How many teams are in
Printed?
K League?
Well, I know
I
that
think-
Mexico is partially printed and Argentina is partially printed.
There are 12 teams. Yeah, so there's more J League cards.
Yeah, so J League, it's the most cards, but probably one of the least amount of knowledge when it comes to.
It's just hard, right? And the other problem is, right, is sometimes these game weeks where what they go first. There we go.
We get over there?
We're back. Okay, yeah, these game weeks where like the game happens on a Thursday, or it happens before the start of a new game week. Like if you look at Gamba, their first game is actually not on the weekend. Thursday, one. It's just because of timing. So that's the only.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same for K League though, right?
Yeah, that's something I noticed too, where it's like I would be like with my friends, and then I'd look at my phone and be like 1 a.m. and then I'd look and I'd see my guy's got a DNP, and I'm like, I need to go to bed.
It's like the best thing, worst thing to wake up to. You're like, you either wake up and your J League or K League teams just crushed it, or you just like wake up and you're just like,
that determines how your day will go or how your
I mean, to
morning
beat
will
the
go.
good old days of waiting till Tuesday for those scores to cycle in.
yeah, that's right. You're like someone was like hand keying scores in for you. Like that was like a Twitter account.
I remember K League had that problem. I remember I had a couple K League guys, and it would be someone would put up like a predicted score on Twitter.
Yeah.
I remember that. No, yeah.
Bogart, go to sleep, bud. It's Friday.
I know. And speaking of which, I do actually have to go eat. So I'm gonna have to bounce out of here.
All right. I appreciate you showing the buys and hanging out.
Yeah, we'll kind of just try to. I mean, I think with the next few weeks, like we should probably just try to come in on Friday and just like sweep through the news that's happened because there's always something going on right now.
That is true. At this point, there's too much stuff going on, especially with MLS off season. Well, appreciate you, Zach. Go have a good meal.
All right, guys, and we'll catch up next week.
Sounds good. See you, man. And then we'll check out this Bogart Beavers thing to end it off here. So let me refresh. Yeah, Bogart needs to just go to bed at this point. Also, Pumas finalized a deal. So yeah, there's I'm not sure. Yeah, so there's Beavers are finalizing a deal to sign him.
Doesn't Brøndby have a?
They're
E23?
Danish. I'm not sure.
Who am I thinking of? No, Rosenborg is who I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay.
That's who has a U23 keeper that I won this year. Who actually was pretty decent towards the latter half. Of course, I won his card like right as their season ended. So
yeah, and so Beavers, if Beavers is gone here, did they re-sign McMath? Did he get a new contract?
Did he?
Let's find out.
I mean, he wasn't. He just had. I think they probably did because they don't have anyone else.
Yeah. So, let's see.
Or maybe his contract was until the 25 or so.
Let's see. Where am I looking? I promise you. Okay, so his contract's done, but he has an option for this year.
Pick up the option.
So they're probably going to pick that up. Yeah. So, wow. Yeah. So that's definitely interesting. I know people were holding on to Beavers forever, waiting for him to get that starting spot, and now he's gone.
Watch him go to another team and back up the keeper.
Oh, wait. Let's pull up Braun B's. Let's pull up their situation. Oh God, I don't know how to spell this. I know Was was there. Oh yeah, that's you when you don't know how to spell it. Oh whoa, their keeper might actually be kind of good.
Or maybe he's going somewhere. No, it says Zach McMath is guaranteed for 25. So
okay, so they probably exercised it, just isn't updated yet. But yeah, I mean their keeper is kind of good. I will say, like he actually.
yeah.
Oh, this might be a situation where he goes to back up.
Oh man. Well, maybe they load him back for the. Well, no, because their season kind of follows the MLS calendar closely.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
they shut down during winter.
Yep. So yeah, and.
So maybe I would, yeah, possibly he's going somewhere. Patrick Pence.
Yeah, I'll look. Let's get that.
He was the goalkeeper of the year in the league last year, by the way. Patrick Pence.
Okay, so maybe. Okay,
yeah, I mean, there's nothing that pops up. Apparently the Apparently the Rapids at one point were trying to sign Patrick Pence.
Interesting.
Who signed for Leverkusen? Wait, what? Is he on loan? I think he is on loan from Bayern Leverkusen.
Time to get to the bottom of this. We're the first people on the internet.
No, he was transferred. He was transferred in July of this year to Brøndby after a loan, and so he was there permanently. So yeah. If he goes there, he's backing up Pence. He's not starting.
Yeah, Patrick Pence is their keeper. Yeah. Also, shout out Jay Blaze getting here just at the end. NBA lineups were tough. It took me a little bit. I know it took Thomas a little bit too. But yeah, so that means maybe back on the McMath train. I know he's cheap. Maybe just for if you need keepers to fill out your lineup. I mean, $15 ain't bad. It's him or I think I'd probably rather have Guzan, but McMath does have some good high scores in there too.
Yep.
But yeah. So that's everything that we're going over today. Freestyle Friday. We went over a bunch of different stuff.
Thanks for hanging, peeps.
Yeah,
keeping me warm.
Oh yeah, so cold.
All these booger bombs.
Yeah, too many booger bombs going on in the show. But yeah, appreciate everybody coming in, hanging out with us as we just, talk about everything everything football. Good luck this weekend for anybody that maybe has Liga MX lineups coming back. Maybe anybody that has some NBA going. Maybe just chilling with your MLS cards, sitting on them, waiting. Go buy some more. Why not? Just stock up. Prices are cheap. Nah, not really anymore. They've kind of been going up.
They've been going up.
Yeah, but yeah. Again, appreciate y'all. Thomas, thank you for coming. Thanks to Zach for coming by. I know he had to go get some grub, but yeah, appreciate all y'all. We'll probably do the Skin Friday if everybody's free. I feel like this is good chill vibe. Maybe get Jorge here. We'll see.
Possibly. My Friday is always variable.
Interesting, yeah, and maybe probably see Ohio State win tonight.
Hook 'em.